Hello, everyone. This is The Lock, and this is the Skeptic Wars podcast where I talk about some of my favorite stories that I've posted onto the Skeptic Wars blog for the past week. So, let's just get right down to it, shall we? Alright. Alex Jones says Army Training Center is part of giant buildup for war with the American people. And this is from the Southern Poverty Law Center. And once again, Alex Jones is making the same claims that he's been making for the past 15 years or so. And that is that the American government, that the Army is building up, is making a giant buildup in order to attack the American people, particularly his type of American people, which are those in the militia movement and the sovereign citizens movement and the so-called patriot movement. Um, and that, the New World Order is going to impose martial law, yada yada yada. Um, this is nothing. Um, this is he's just been saying this for years, so this isn't anything that's untypical of him. Um, why anyone takes him seriously anymore or believes when he says this, I don't know. But he says this stuff, at least something like this, at least once a day. Why anyone would take him seriously anymore? Because he keeps saying all this stuff. He keeps saying, America is about to be put under martial law, and it never happens. Why anyone takes him seriously anymore? It it shocks me. All right, next one. Dead or meditating. This is from the Atlantic, and this concerns a shall we say a I guess yogi or something like this. His name's Ashatu Majora. I can't pronounce his name. You have to just read it for yourself. But apparently he's been in a freezer for quite a while now, and his followers are trying to say, well, he's not dead. He's meditating. And you know what? If you've been in a freezer for I don't know, over a month, and you haven't been moving or anything, and you haven't left the freezer or anything, guess what? You're dead. Okay? There's no reason to debate about this. Just he is dead, and he needs to be buried, or do whatever, however Hindu or Shekin burial processes they do. I mean, look, he's just dead. Okay, there's no debate over this. He's been in a freezer for quite a long time. There's there's no reason to even bother to ask about this. I mean, it amazes me that there are people out there that actually believe he is alive. Alright. Mass Murderers by Proxy, and this is by Miles Power, and this is concerning an upcoming, actually it already came out. You can go to his webpage or go to his YouTube page, or you can go right here on Skeptic Wars, because I've posted the video concerning this is about the AIDS denialist propaganda film House Numbers, and it concerns one person that was featured in that propaganda film called Peter Dunsberg. And it turns out Peter Dunsberg was a really good scientist, but unfortunately he began putting out this AIDS denialism BS, and he continues to this day. And as it turns out, Peter Dunsberg was very influential with Tabu Makbib. He was actually part of Tubu Makbib's AIDS advisory panel, and Tubu Makbib was South Africa's president in the 2000s. And Tubu Makbib was himself an AIDS nihilist, and Dr. Dunsberg influenced President Mabiki into and got him to pretty much uh, end all the uh, AIDS related programs in South Africa. And basically, what ended up happening was that people who would normally be getting antiretroviral medication from the government down there stopped getting it, and unfortunately a lot of people died because of this. And over 300,000, 330,000, be more precise, died. And it's just horrible, what happened. And basically, to put it simply, Peter Dunsberg is the Andrew Wakefield of AIDS nihilism. That's how bad he is. And like Wakefield, he cried foul when he was unable to obtain funding for a series. And basically he was claiming that there was unfair oppression of his work. But this is a guy who has blood on his hands, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions as well. Alright. Gwyneth Paltrow thinks you can hurt water's feelings by yelling at it. This is from Vox. And as it turns out, Gwyneth Paltrow, she's got this website that gives advice, but it's pretty much dabbles into pseudoscience. And apparently she thinks that you can hurt water's feelings by yelling at it. And this is based off of a Japanese scientist work called Dr. Imato's. And it's complete BS. I mean, look, Gwyneth Paltrow is an actress. She's not a scientist. And even if she was a scientist, it wouldn't matter, because what she's spewing is complete and total BS. I mean, it's not like it's necessarily like this BS is necessarily harmful, but it's just stupid. It's just completely stupid. You can't affect water's feelings. At least I certainly hope you can't, because I got some water next to me right now, and I just hope it's not getting its feelings hurt right now, because I'm about to take a little sip of it, and it might just try to kill me. Nope, still here. So, I haven't hurt its feelings, and that's probably because water doesn't have feelings. Alright. Slimming pills bought online left woman with liver damage. And this is from independent.ie. And a 35-year-old woman who took a food supplement she purchased from the internet. And by the way, don't ever purchase stuff like this from the internet, because odds are you're probably going to get screwed over. And in this case, it really screwed her over because she ended up, I believe, yeah, she did. She needed to get a liver transplant. She purchased some food supplements in order to lose weight, and ended up she got screwed over. And it's a very that what she took was very dangerous, and it made her. It turns out it was just basically really screwed her over and made her get really sick and required her to get a liver transplant. Um, you know, this is just a good example of why you just shouldn't order stuff over the internet. Because I mean, not necessarily stuff, but order medication and food supplements because you don't know what you're getting. And even if you go to like a health store or something like that and you get a food supplement, you know, it could still be harmful to you. So if you want to get supplements, it's best to talk to your doctor before you do and see what they have to say. But don't just order something off of the internet because you don't know what you're going to get. You could get something that could potentially kill you. Okay, next one. This is from Right Wing Watch. Oliver North, yes, Oliver North, accuses Obama of financing a terrorist organization with been Bergdahl release. And Oliver North are the guy who if any of you remember from your history class, he was a guy who helped finance terrorism in Central America by selling arms um, to the Iranian government, and then giving the sales of those arms to Contra Contra government, or Contra rebels, I should say, in I believe it was Nicaragua. Yeah, I think it was Nicaragua. I'm not gonna go look it up right now, but anyways, and he is accusing President Obama of financing terrorism. First of all, President Obama did not finance terrorism. He released 5 members of the Taliban and for a U.S. soldier that had been captured by him. And there's still some questions about this, but for Oliver North, who really did finance a terrorist organization, to accuse Obama of financing a terrorist organization when it's quite clear he didn't, is not only hypocritical, it's honestly something that should get him banned from ever talking on TV again. Okay? I mean, that's just... Oliver North, the biggest hypocrite in the world. The literal biggest hypocrite in the world at this point in time. Alright. Requiring vaccinations for all who have contact with newborns is on the rise. And, well, some parents, new parents who've had children, are now requiring their family members who don't get vaccinated to get vaccinated before they can see and have any contact with their infants. And this is on the rise, which this is a good thing. I think this needs to be done more often. And if a person won't get vaccinated, they need to know that there's consequences. And one of the consequences is you don't get to be around anybody else's kids. Okay? And that might be enough of a consequence to get a person to vaccinate. Now, it might not be enough of a consequence, but that should be enough. And this is particularly against whooping cough, which is very serious for infants. It can actually be fatal. Excuse me there. But if you're going to be around an infant, really, you should be vaccinated against whooping cough. Excuse me there. It's really the best thing you should do. In fact, you should be vaccinated against everything you can be in order to ensure that this young baby who probably hasn't had any vaccinations yet, most likely because they're just too young to have any vaccinations, it's the best way to ensure this baby's not going to get sick and possibly die from an infectious disease that it doesn't need to die from. Alright. Alright, well, that's it for this week's podcast of the Skeptic Wars podcast. And I certainly hope you've enjoyed the podcast. So until next time, this is the Lock saying, see ya.